Welcome back, everybody. Sports Bash Live on your Wednesday edition. Joined right now by NBC Sports' Amani Toomer. You can listen to Amani on NBC Sports Radio, the 24/7 live sports talk network. And you can get that at NBCSportsRadio.com. Download the NBC Sports Radio mobile app today. Amani, the divisional round is here. We had a very unmemorable wild card weekend. Do we think this weekend will be better?
I don't. I mean, I think the best matchup this weekend is probably Green Bay going down to Dallas, but Green Bay without Jordy Nelson, and Green Bay was showing the inability earlier this year to stop Ezekiel Elliott running the football. I don't think it's going, and I think the Cowboys are going to do just that. I don't think it's going to be a great game. I think the Cowboys are going to win pretty easily, and I don't think any other game is really that interesting.
Really? You don't like the Pittsburgh-Kansas City game? I'm really intrigued by that one.
Oh, wait, Pittsburgh Kansas City game now. You're talking about, I thought you were talking about the NFC. But the AFC, I think that's going to be a good game. But I still think Kansas City is a better team than Pittsburgh. I think the Kansas City defense has just as many talented players on it than the Pittsburgh Steelers offense. So to me, that it's going to be a wash. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to have trouble on defense. I think Ben Roethlisberger, who's a fairly not as mobile with the foot injury, is going to have problems with Ford, with Tamba Ali, and I think it's going to be an issue.
Yeah, that one there, very intriguing because Kansas City doesn't have that explosive offense that puts up a lot of points, and Pittsburgh does. I find that one to be intriguing here. If Pittsburgh is to attack Kansas City, do you like Brown or Bell to kind of be the guy to win that game for a Steelers win?
I think it's going to be Bell, because I think Brown, I don't know if I really like that matchup with the receivers of Pittsburgh versus the secondary of the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs secondary is one of the best, and I think Eric Berry and Peterson. I mean, those guys are phenomenal. Those guys are top shelf. So I don't see that as being a real advantage for the Steelers, which it is for most weeks. And I feel like Bell is going to have to do some of his magic and open some holes, run against a very stingy Kansas City defense, and with Don Terry Poe in the middle, I think that's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for them to really get production, and I'm looking for the Kansas City Chiefs to win this game.
Yeah, I like that assessment about the playmakers too. You played against Andy Reid teams a lot. What is an Andy Reid team like?
They usually don't make very much mistakes. Usually there's more finesse. When I played against the Eagles, they were really bad on 3rd and 1. That to me says a finesse team. Like when it comes down to it, I don't think they'll be able to move bodies. And but when you look at this Kansas City Chiefs team, and their defense is top. I mean, they're top shelf. I mean, these guys are athletic, mean, aggressive, physical, and tough. I mean, it's a team that I really respect what they do on defense. And I think because they're in Kansas City and most of the country doesn't get to watch them that much, they are underestimated. But this team, they're no joke.
Not by this radio host. I really like the Chiefs. I've liked them all season long. Now, if Pittsburgh or Kansas City win, I'm assuming you like New England. If you think Houston has any shot, you can state that case. But does Pittsburgh or Kansas City, do you like either one of them better against New England?
I like Kansas City because I think Kansas City is a better team altogether in terms of offense, defense, special teams. I think they play a more consistent brand of football. But ultimately, when you're playing against the Patriots, I think Kansas City's style of play and their physicality on defense, I think that really bodes well. But I still don't give them a chance because at the end of the day, with Tom Brady, the Michigan man, number 12, back there, I don't see anybody beating him in a playoff scenario, even when he doesn't have Gronk.
You stated no case for Houston. I didn't anticipate you would, as the Texans roll into New England.
You know what?
They got a good defense.
Brock Osweiler didn't look that bad. No. I think Brock Osweiler is. I think he's a work in progress, and people want him to be something he's not just quite yet. I think just give him a little while; he'll be all right.
Are they for Houston though? Are they like a legit quarterback away? Like, do they have the other pieces to be a legit contender? They just don't have the quarterback, or are they other pieces away too?
Well, I think other pieces on offense. I think their running game is good, but not not elite. Like with Lamar Miller, I think their receivers are very good. I think there's some inconsistency in the quarterback position, but I think the quarterback is kind of a symptom of a problem, and I think they have a problem in their communication and in their route running, because you see too many people running routes that aren't where the ball gets thrown and the receivers stop and look around, and to me that says there's a communication problem. I should have went this way. You should have went that way. Those are the things that I feel that you see a lot in Houston that don't bode well for them to be a legitimate contender, at least this year.
All right, Amani Toomer, NBC Sports with us. Seattle and Atlanta. This game's at Atlanta. Makes Seattle a little bit different team. I don't think Seattle's been the same team all season that we've kind of come to know, but they looked pretty good last week. Running the ball, too.
Yeah, they look pretty good at home. But Rawls has definitely come along. But I don't think they're going to be able to run the ball like they think they can against Atlanta. I think Atlanta is a much better defense than people think. I think their pass rush is a little bit better than most think with Vic Beasley. I think there's a lot of upside to this defense. They have really talented players, and I think they're a little bit underrated.
We know Atlanta's offense is very high-powered. We saw them here in Philly. They did not look good that day. However, they've been, probably the best offense in the league. Does the offense beat the defense in this playoff game?
Well, I think the fact that they're at home and they're in the Dome, I think the offense is definitely it's a marked advantage for the offense. But yeah, so I definitely would give Atlanta the full advantage, and plus they're healthy and rested. I mean, Rawls looked like he was a little dinged up last week, and I think that it's going to be a situation where he's going to, they're going to have to play better than they've played all year on the road, except for the game versus they're going to have to play a similar game than the one that they played when they went to New England, and that's a tall order.
Amani Toomer's with us. And you said earlier you liked Dallas in that game. They played once, and Dallas, ran the ball pretty effectively in that game. But you're going against how hot Rodgers is right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think Rodgers, to me, in quarterback play, to me, are like haymakers. They're coming from way back, and, if you're a good boxer, you can pretty much see them. But if you're a straight puncher, and I think what a straight puncher is to me in football is a running game. And if you can't stop the straight punch that comes right at your nose, you can't stop that jab, you're going to go to sleep. And I think when you can't stop the run in the NFL, especially when you have one of the best running backs in the league, in Ezekiel Elliott, you're going to go to sleep quick. And that's what I think is going to happen to Green Bay this weekend.
So Amani's got Dallas, Atlanta, KC, New England for your championship weekend. I want to roll back real fast to Wild Card weekend. I'd be remiss. You're a former Giant. You saw the Giants go out. Obviously what happened in New York has been a circus all week long. What is your take from looking back at your former team? Because we've got a lot of Giants fans in our audience here that they've been all over the place this week.
Yeah, I think the fact that they're fans is why they're all over the place. I mean, I don't think that the actual boat trip or the actual distraction of Odell Beckham and the wide receiving core affected the game as much as as people are trying to make it out to be. But you're dealing with fans. I mean, fans are going to look at things as fans, and they don't look at the reality of things. They're just like, why did they do that? They didn't catch the balls. They all correlated, and probably they didn't. But I mean, you're dealing with people that. When there's fans watching football games, they kick people out of the house if the team starts losing, or they switch chairs when things aren't going their team's way, and thinking that's going to affect the actual game. So you can't reason with that type of mentality, but the perception of it of what happened is turning into reality, and now people are looking at Odell Beckham and that receiving core as unprofessional.
So Giants, in closing, Giants just simply not good enough.
I don't think they are a good enough team, no. And I think if they needed to catch those touchdown passes early, keep those drives going early, just to give themselves a chance. They need to rush out to a quick lead, and because they never were going to be able to score with the Green Bay Packers, so they need to get as many points as they possibly could. And when you trade field goals with the Green Bay Packers at home in Lambeau, it's just not going to work.
Amani Toomer with us here talking NFL playoffs there this weekend on 97.3 ESPN. You can listen to Amani Toomer on NBC Sports Radio, the 24/7 live sports talk network at NBCSportsRadio.com. Download the mobile app today. Amani, enjoy the games, pal.
Hey, thanks a lot, Mike.
You got it. There's Amani Toomer here on the Bash, 97.3 ESPN.